Welcome into Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey here with the latest rumors and news on Tennessee, and you better believe we're getting things going with a Kyler Murray trade possibility since he might not be that happy in Arizona. Kyler has leaked everything Cardinals read from his social media. Is not following them either, which you know how it works in the NFL. When a big-time player does the social media thing, it gets the conversation going and gets the freak out going as well. Also worth mentioning that Murray's agent had no comment. Now, that was mentioned by Ian Rappaport, and some lack of clarity if that was do you have a comment, if he didn't respond, thus no comment, or if he straight up said, no comment on it right now. Murray has 2 years left on his deal, factoring in the fifth-year option, which, of course, is going to get picked up. But he is extension eligible right now, and that might be at the root of this, where, remember, Cliff Kingsbury was randomly linked to the Oklahoma job early when that job came open because Cliff wants a new deal as Cardinals head coach, and maybe Murray wants something similar. Kyler this year, after, frankly, a bit of a bad stretch in the back half of the year, overall, though, has shown the traits and tools to take a team to the next level, be the franchise guy. 24 touchdowns, 10 INTs. We know how dynamic he is as a runner as well. But the Cardinals didn't finish the year all that well. Neither did the Tennessee Titans. And I think in general, if you were to say, hey, who's the better quarterback, feel like we'd all be taking Kyler Murray over Ryan Tannehill, who, of course, is the Titans' current franchise QB. Now, of course, they're both A&M guys, at least briefly A&M guys for Kyler Murray, as funny as that turns out there. Things get a little bit tricky when it comes to juggling Ryan Tannehill, how you deal with his contract. And if you trade for Kyler Murray, of course, you feel better about your ceiling. I mean, imagine Kyler, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, who that should be a Super Bowl contender, given the team, of course, the number one seed this past year. So the upside's there. The cost, of course, is fairly significant. You'd have to pay Kyler $40+ million per year. So would you trade for Kyler Murray? Let me know what you guys have to say in the comment section. Type in Y for yes, you would, or N for no, you would not. Now, if you're typing in no, I bet part of the reason is at minimum the cost that would be involved for adding a player of Kyler Murray's caliber. This is the better version of these two QBs. So you're going a Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff type of deal. Plus, you probably got to throw in more because he's way younger. In theory, you are acquiring a locked and loaded franchise QB for the next 10 to 15 years. That has immense value. So here's my trade idea, and it is a lot. So if you want to go back and type in N for no as a result, hey, I get it. Titans, of course, get Kyler. Cardinals get Tannehill, which doesn't carry that much value. I'll go 3 first-round picks. Remember, those picks are going to be in the late 20s. Those aren't nearly as valuable as, say, a team like Philadelphia or a team like even the Giants throwing premium picks this year your way. Those are future firsts, not nearly as valuable, and a second-round pick this year on top of that. It's expensive. Murray's a franchise guy, which I don't know if you feel the same way about Ryan Tannehill at this point. The goal is to get us to 3,000 subscribers here on Tennessee Titans today. We are past the 2,000 mark. Thank you all so much for that. Let's keep it going. If you want more free videos every single day on the Tennessee Titans, hit that big red button and subscribe. Let's discuss A.J. Brown and his, is he getting creative like Kyler? A.J. Brown posted some video of him in the batting cages having some success. And, of course, he was a formerly great baseball player. He was drafted by the Padres out of high school. And Brown has publicly said he's thought about trying to play both sports. He posted this on his Instagram. Nice little edit of him in the Titans jersey and, of course, playing baseball as well. He tweeted at the Padres. They responded. And, of course, baseball is in the midst of a lockout because that sport has no idea how to handle anything. Don't tell me to stop, Jack. I'm right. Baseball's a train wreck. I don't think A.J. Brown's really trying to play baseball. I will make note, though, A.J. Brown is up for a contract extension as well. He is now eligible. And I just wonder if maybe that's at the root cause as to why suddenly A.J. Brown's getting the baseball hype train going. Although, look, staying in shape, hitting baseballs, I don't mind that as a nice little training bonus with doing, of course, other more football-related activities there. I would do this as it relates to A.J. Brown. I'd pay him right now. The wide receiver market, once Davante Adams gets his massive deal, which I think will be a record, is going to skyrocket. I want to pay A.J. Brown before DK Metcalf gets paid, because whoever gets paid last is going to get paid more. I would pay A.J. Brown right now. I'd give him $20-25 million and then have the market set as opposed to getting set by the market. So with that in mind, play GM for me. What is the most that you would go out and pay A.J. Brown per year? Are you down to only top it out at 20, or do you want to give him even more? It's going to be expensive. Let me know in the comments section. Tennessee Titans news now on Titans Today by Chat Sports. As expected, some contract extensions for not players. Instead, it is head coach Mike Vrabel and GM Jon Robinson, as expected, have agreed to extensions with the Tennessee Titans organization, locking those two in for the long term as the decision makers and the deciders in Tennessee. Now, the contract details were not announced. I would not be sure this was a 4 or 5 year extension. Their deals were due to end after this upcoming year, reportedly, and I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? Mike Vrabel has done a fantastic job as this team's head coach. He is in the running for Coach of the Year, at least has a strong argument for Coach of the Year this season with all the injuries they suffered. Robinson has taken a team that wasn't in great shape overall. They were just not a true contender to being a playoff contender and playoff participant every single year. This is a no-brainer move. Now, I'll make note, yes, you do want to have a little bit more success in the postseason. But if Tennessee didn't hire these two, how long would they last out on the open market? Not long. Vrabel would have any head coaching job that was open that he wants, and Robinson could be a GM again overnight. So you had to get it done. It's a no-brainer for this organization. I want you now to grade this pairing. Only as head coach and GM, can't grade the players here. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm an A- or B+ at worst. Let me know what you guys think. Get those grades in for me in the comments section. If you guys love the Titans, then I want you to subscribe. Prove that you are a Tennessee Titans fan by hitting that big red button and joining us for more free Titans videos all off season long. Let's talk draft now. 2 players we're going to discuss from recent big company mock drafts. First up is Chris Olave, part of the new 2-round mock draft from ESPN, which only has 1 round that matters, of course, for Tennessee since they have no second-round pick. They took wide receiver Chris Olave out of Ohio State. Now, he is a smooth and solid route runner. I don't think he's going to be an elite, high-end number 1 in the NFL, but I think he's going to be a damn good wide receiver 2 for you who gets open, and that makes him a fit for pretty much any team. I would be shocked if he does not go in round 1. The other pick from CBS Sports was Jameson Williams, and this one I'm really intrigued by as a potential fit in Tennessee. Olave's the route runner, the reliable number 2. Williams is the big play threat, the vertical threat. Not the biggest guy, but he had a great production this year for Alabama after transferring from Ohio State. Now, Williams, had he been healthy, I don't think would have fallen Tennessee, but he tore his ACL in the college football playoff title game, and that makes it possible he's on the board for Tennessee. And if you trot out Jameson Williams or Chris Olave with A.J. Brown and probably Julio Jones, well, that's a damn good wide receiver trio. So pick one of these 2 guys. Type JW for Jameson Williams or type in CO for Chris Olave. Let's look at the 2 production numbers here. Targets favor Jameson Williams, so do catches, receiving yards, and the average was 20 for Williams. Touchdowns, though, not that different, and it's also worth mentioning here in this discussion of these 2 players that Williams, although he had John Mechie, good player, he didn't have arguably wide receiver 1 for this year's class, Garrett Wilson, And next year's class, Jackson Smith and Jigba also on the roster. That's why Williams got out of Ohio. That's why he transferred this year. I do think receiver makes sense for Tennessee in round one. You could mix in tight end if you want to go as well. Other names to keep an eye out for, I think potential round one guys, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Traylon Burks, Jahan Dotson. And I'll mention David Bell. I'd rather go with a tight end like a Trey McBride in round one instead, but he's the next group, at the top of the next group of that wide receiver class this year.